This 26 Sports and CCTV high school basketball presentation is presented by Cadillac Casting Incorporated.
And welcome back to Cadillac High School. Jay Simon alongside a man who has finally caught his breath and collected his thoughts, Eric Richards. What a finish to this one as the Cadillac Vikings come away with a 57-54 win over the Gaylord Blue Devils. A near repeat of sorts of the first matchup between these teams back on February 1st. Cooper Benson won it with a three at the buzzer in overtime there. And Cooper Benson wins it with a three with 1.7 seconds remaining in regulation here. Cooper Benson, just 6 points in the game, started the game with a triple for the Vikings and ends the game with a triple for the Vikings.
Apparently that's all I needed to make a statement, Jay.
That was it.
That game was back and forth, up and down, a lot of excitement, a lot of turnovers, moments of great shooting, moments of pure athleticism with the dunk, and you got Vinny Genema blocking three-pointers from the desert. and I mean, what do you say? I mean, honestly, both these teams really could have won this game. It came down to who had the ball last, and fortunately for the Vikings, they had it and got it in Cooper Benson's hands.
They did, and if you missed it, you can go back and watch it on our replays here on MyNews 26 and CCTV. They'll also be posted on YouTube. But Gaylord had their opportunity. They had the ball tied at 54 with a minute remaining in the game, but the Vikings able to cause a 5-second call with about 32 seconds remaining and get the turnover. And then on the other end, avoided the 5-second call of their own, got the ball into the hands of their seniors, Keegan Brooks, dishing it out to Cooper Benson. Actually, it might have been Maddox Hoagland who dished it out to Cooper Benson. Yeah. And Benson hitting the three from the right wing with 1.7 seconds left. Blue Devils had an opportunity, but you called it, Eric. You put Vinny Genema, the pogo stick, and that's his official new nickname, on the inbounder, and having to go full court, he had to throw that pretty high, and this is not a towering ceiling here in Cadillac, and he hit one of the rafters coming across the way, and Cadillac escapes with the win.
And you could say, people watch, you could say, well, what do you throw it in the rafters for? You don't understand. Vinny Genema, he can get off the floor quickly.
He's already 6'2".
Yeah.
And he's got his hands in the air.
And he's got like 8-foot-long arms.
Right.
I mean, he's a freak that way.
So even if he's only jumping up off his toes, he's still preventing you from being able to do what you want to do, and that was smart.
Yeah, and he made it hard for them, obviously, because he threw it in the rafters, and that was really the only chance, because even though he threw it in the rafters, he still barely got it over Vinny's hands. So, you laugh, but I'm serious.
Yes.
I mean, he had to throw it where he threw it. It was the only chance he had to get the ball away from Vinny. So, yeah, great strategy there by Coach Bensonberg, and great defense by Vinny. A good coach puts players in a position to be successful, and that's what happened on that play.
Absolutely. To round the scoring out for you, for the Vikings, Keegan Brooks finishes with a game-high 17 points, balanced 8 in the first half, 9 in the second. He had 3 3-pointers, as both teams just went nuts from three-point land. I can't remember when I counted them initially. I had 15 combined. I'd have to count them again here to tell you what they were, but
I think you said 8 for Cadillac and 7
at the time, and I don't know how many they hit after that. Tip Baker finishes with 16 points, including 2 triples of his own. Aiden Raphael finishes with 9 points off the bench. Aiden goes 4 of 6 from the free throw line, hit a 3, had 6 points in the fourth quarter, as he really gave the Vikings a lift at the end of this game. Maddox Hoagland finishes with 5 points, all in the third quarter, and Vinny Genema finishes with 4 points. Sorry, Cooper Benson finishes with 6. Can't forget Cooper, as we mentioned, kind of started it and ended it with a 3. But Vinny Genema, at least 4 blocks in the game and 1 very important altered pass at the end.
And Keegan Brooks was the leading scorer, but really, for me, it was the timing of when he did score. A lot of those shots he made were big shots, were needed from from Keegan by the Vikings to kind of give him a little momentum going forward. There was times when Gaylord would go on a run and Keegan would hit a big shot, and that is all about senior leadership, stepping up. It's your time to lead, and Keegan did a great job of that tonight.
For the Blue Devils, Nick Rowley finishes with 15 points, all from beyond the arc, including 2 in the fourth quarter, Blue Devils hit 5 3-pointers in the fourth. They hit 9 for the game, as did the Vikings. 18 triples combined in this contest. Jared Landry finishes with 12 points, 3 from long range. Blake Charbonneau finishes with 10 points on a number of nice moves on the interior. Jordan Gopinski finishes with 10 points. The big man had 8 in the first half, was quiet in the second. Mitch Wilson finishes with 5, including a big 3 toward the end of the game as well. And then Charlie May with a bucket off the bench to round out the scoring for the Blue Devils, who go 3 of 12 from the free throw line. That obviously a key in a game that finishes with a 3-point differential. The Vikings were just 5 of 9. Not a great night from them from the line either, although I think we can at least wipe out one of those, as I'm pretty sure that second free throw at the end by Cooper Benson was purposeful. But not a great shooting night from the line for either team, and yet 18 triples connected on in this one.
I don't. Kids.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Hang on, you didn't do that in your grumpy old man voice. Kids today, I tell you.
Doggone kids can't make free throws. No, I think Gaylord's going to look back at this game and see that free throw percentage, and they're going to like, oh, dang it. Because they really did play well. They came out, and there was a couple times when, they were exchanging. It was like two heavyweights. They were just throwing punches, and every once in a while they'd land a big blow, and you're like, oh, my gosh. That dunk in the third quarter.
Yeah, Blake Charbonneau. I got to make sure we give credit.
I mean, you want to talk about a haymaker.
Whew.
That kind of knocked the Vikings on their seats a little bit, and then they come right back down, hit that big 3. But then Keegan Brooks comes, and it was like shortly after he hit a big 3, it kind of settled things down for him.
Yeah, that was in the second quarter, right?
I think it was third. Was it
the third quarter?
Yeah. The dunk was here.
Oh, in the second half? Yeah, third quarter was on this end. You're absolutely right. Yeah, so make sure you. Like I said, this will be on YouTube later as well. You can watch replays here on Minus 26 and CCTV. Make sure you check out that third quarter. My goodness, somebody should probably, I don't know, can I say this? Eric Whittill would probably yell at me, but somebody should really be clipping that. That should be all over Twitter. That was a fantastic pass and dunk from Blake Charbonneau.
That's the stuff you see in the NBA.
Couple of two, it really was. Two long strides, really from just inside the free throw line. He took 2 steps and flushed it with 2 hands off 1 foot. It was an incredible athletic move from Blake Charbonneau. But the Blue Devils come up a bit short, 57-54. They fall to 10-6 on the season. Cadillac moves to 11-6, 6-3 in the Big North, but they are going to finish at best runner-up. They look like they're in good shape and should finish at runner-up. They have Alpena yet to go, but they are 2 games behind Petoskey. Although I guess Petoskey could potentially, they could share it, I suppose. Petoskey would have to lose their last 2 games in order to make that interesting. Petoskey has Gaylord remaining, and that's it, actually. So Petoskey at 8-1. They played an extra game. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm looking at the MHSAA website. I can't tell. It's unlikely the Vikings can tie for the league title, but they are going to finish strong. And now it's about heading into the postseason for these 2 teams. You look at Gaylord, and I believe Gaylord, no, they don't have that listed yet. Mildly surprises me. Gaylord finishes with Traverse City Central, but Traverse City Central plays Petoskey in the playoffs to open the playoffs, so we don't know who Gaylord will open the postseason with. Cadillac, meanwhile, I think the draw is already live. Yeah, they have Manistee to open postseason play. So the Vikings, a team that in the past has made several great runs to the quarterfinals and beyond, will clearly be wanting to do the same, try to get back and make those types of runs. And this is the year, if you're going to do it, you might do it. They don't have a standout potential D1 level player like they've had in the past on this team, but they have a number of seniors and good leadership to where they might be able to do something like that going forward. So that's going to do it for us, I believe. Wyatt, give me those names in my ear one more time, please. For our director, Wyatt Van Dynen. For our camera crew, Bailey Hoover, Gabrielle Long. For Eric Richards, I'm Jay Simon. Thanks so much for joining us here. Boys Big North basketball action. Cadillac 57-54 over Gaylord here on My News 26 and CCTV. We'll see you next time. Good night.